In this video, I'm going to show you an athlete that I'm currently working with, identify key mistakes in their technique, and show you exactly how I fixed them, all in this short 5-minute video. Meet Chris. He wants to walk onto his college football team soon, and in order to do so, needs to improve his 40. The problem is this: he's never had proper sprint training, not sure how to put together an effective program, no idea what he needs to fix in his technique, and most importantly, only has 8 weeks to train, so he can't afford to waste any time. Here are some of the biggest weak points we found and how we fixed them. During our assessments, I immediately saw that he was unable to achieve proper hip extension. Just doing drills, you can see that his hips were flexed even when he tries to fully extend. If this is how his body looks like when it's in one spot moving slowly, imagine when it's moving down the field violently. Drills are not only good for improving our mechanics, they can also be used as a test to reveal weak links. I took him through my 8-step progression, and in less than 2 minutes, he was already looking like this. One of the most important parts of the 8-step progression is the standing single leg thrust, because even though he was making improvements through the first 3 steps of the progression, he was still struggling to make the mind to muscle connection that it takes to fully extend through the hips. This movement forces you into that position, and the mind to muscle connection will become easy because your glutes fire off like a rocket and achieve maximum contraction. So I encourage you to take this exercise and try it out if you're struggling with this as well. But here's the thing: correcting technique isn't easy. One of the biggest traps you can fall into is overanalyzing, something I've been guilty of in the past. Instead, if we look at KPIs, key performance indicators, we can focus on the fundamentals that matter the most, rather than trying to fix everything at the same time. This is a concept Richard James explained to me in his office a few months ago. Richard is an Olympian and world champion from Jamaica, accomplished D1 coach, and now director of performance at one of the most elite private schools in the country. As a result of learning from him and other elite coaches, one of the things that I do now with each athlete that I work with is find their sprint archetype. This is a process I've created because it makes it really easy to design an effective program once you're able to categorize each athlete accurately. The important lesson here is not to overanalyze technique and focus on finding the 1 to 3 things that are going to have the most ROI in our performance. Having the ability to achieve proper hip extension is one of those things. The same way poker players have a stone cold look on their face at the table is the same way I want my athletes to look like when sprinting, like an icy poker player, because if you tense up, your face will immediately show it. And on the other hand, if you relax your face, your body will typically follow. Relaxing is important, but it's rarely explained why. Here's my quick explanation. Imagine your muscle like a rubber band. When you're relaxed, it's somewhat like having a super stretchy rubber band that lengthens and contracts fast. When you tense up, it's somewhat like having a rubber band that barely lengthens and contracts slowly. Just by telling Chris to relax his face, he went from this to this. If you're really struggling with relaxing, one thing you can do is practice arm swings with the sun in your eyes. Keep the face relaxed, and soon it will become a habit. This weak point we discovered while working on his top speed. I had him doing wicket drills, a powerful training tool that was taught to me by 2-time Olympian Mateus Buehler. In this case, we're using markers on the ground, and he was able to clear all of them without a problem except for the last one. He kept stepping on it, and it wasn't because it was spaced out larger. The previous 2 wickets had the same spacing. Ideally, an athlete's stride will lengthen as speed increases and their body travels further on each step. In this case, Chris's stride was actually closing up around 10 yards, and as a result, he was losing speed towards the end of his drive phase. A big problem for anyone trying to improve their 40. I get excited when I find stuff like this, because if we didn't have the wickets set up, measured correctly, we would have no idea that this was even happening. Now, here's how we fix this problem. I had him take longer rest periods and focus on striking down. That's it. There's plenty of research to support the idea that longer rest times lead to a significant improvement in sprint performance. Finding the weak links is difficult, but the solution doesn't always require fancy equipment or drills. Applying the fundamentals can go a long way. Here is an example workout directly from the National Strength and Conditioning Association. 2 to 3 sets, 3 to 4 reps per set, 10 to 30 meters, rest after each rep, 3 minutes, rest after each set, 5 minutes. If those rest periods surprise you, good. That probably means you have a major blind spot in your training and need to start utilizing effective rest periods. In the very next sprint, using these instructions, he was able to clear every wicket without overstriding. I don't expect this weak link to disappear in one session, but by focusing on quality reps, we can make improvements in the short term and the long term. These are some of the weak points we found and how we fixed them. If you need help fixing yours, check below in the description. And if you want more drills to fix your technique, this video has 30 of them. I go over each one, how to perform them, and what problem it solves. Click here to watch that next.